welcome our beloved viewers to our today's news English edition. As usual, we'll bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. President Gele pays tribute to the late Adam Farah, a great Djiboutian artist. And on the international scene, the summer heat in Europe. Temperatures rise to 38 degrees in France and Germany. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, has paid tribute to the memory of the late Adan Farah Samater, a leading figure on the national artistic scene and a well-known and much-loved figure in Djibouti. It was with great sorrow that I learned of the date of the late Adan Farah Samater, an icon of the Djiboutian song, said the head of state, a poet at heart. He commended his team through his ability to reconcile his profile as an author, composer, and singer. The President of the Republic also stressed his attachment to the values of justice and dignity is a reflection of the unwavering commitment he demonstrated during the mobilization of our independence. President Guelleh recalled describing the deceased as a patriot who always worked for the unity and cohesion of our country. May God welcome him into his eternal paradise. The head of state then prayed, expressing his condolence to the family, close friends, and all members of our country's artistic community. The late Adam Farah Samater, who died this Sunday in Djibouti at the age of 80 years old, leaves behind a large family. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. When his death was announced, the first to pay a vibrant tribute was the head of state, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, who emphasized the late Adam Farah's attachment to the values of justice and dignity. In the image of the unfailing commitment he demonstrated during the mobilization of our independence, describing the deceased as a patriot who always worked for the unity and cohesion of our country. Born in the early 1940s, the late Adam Farah Samater grew up in Djibouti, where he got his start in the world of culture and music at a very young age, with one of the first artistic troops. Before his death, he was president of the Djiboutian Artists Association. An outstanding composer, his repertoire includes many songs and plays on the themes of citizenship and love. Before independence, the late Adam Farah was at the forefront of all post-independence events and was the first person arrested by the colonists at every moment of the actions carried out to reclaim independence. In addition to his artistic career, the late Adam Farah was a hard-working entrepreneur after the late 1970s. After independence, he took part in the construction of the country in his own way in the field of art, encouraging and synthesizing the Djiboutian population to strengthen national unity and cohesion. The late Adan Farah leaves behind a large family and an immense repertoire of songs, TV films, and plays for future generations. The Prime Minister, Mr. Abdelkader Kamil Mohammed, received today at the Prime Minister the new ambassador of the United Kingdom to our country, His Excellency Vinay Talwar. Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamil Mohammed immediately welcomed the diplomat and gave him his full support in carrying out his mission in Djibouti. As for the UK ambassador, he thanked the Prime Minister for the warm welcome he had received. Discussions focused on ways and means of further development existing relations between the Republic of Djibouti and the United Kingdom. Mr. Vinay Talwar has the stature of an ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary with residence in Djibouti. Under the patronage of the Ministry of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibu Mumin Asawi, CJSOI Training Seminary on Volunteering Interests and Challenges for Youth was launched yesterday at the Idris Farah Habani Academy. The highly regional event was attended by Dr. Hibu, the authorities and parliamentarians of the Arta region. The head of the National Police, Colonel Abdurrahman Ali Kahin, the Prefect of Arta Hassan Dabali, the UNDP representatives, CJSOI experts, trainers, several officers from all corps, sector managers, partner representatives, senior executives from the MGC, all CDC managers, association representatives, and honored guests were all present. After the reading of the Holy Quran and the national anthem, a series of speeches were made by the personalities and officials present. The Director General of the National Police, Colonel Abdurrahman Ali Khan, emphasized the importance of this volunteer training seminar and expressed his satisfaction that the Police Academy had once again opened its door to welcome, for the second time, initiatives aimed at promoting the development and integration of young people. For his part, the Prefect of Arta stressed the vital importance of this training seminar on volunteering to instill in young people the spirit of various intrinsic to the building of our country. Youth is the spearhead of national development, he added. The challenge is to adopt a national volunteering strategy in close collaboration and consultation with sectoral ministries and partners so that young people, women remain the figurehead of Djibouti's socio-economic development. On Sunday, July 9, 2023, the CNSS branch of the Northern region of Tajarrah hosted the payment of retirement persons for the third quarter of the current year, a first in the history of the Tajarrah region, but also a more particularly in the prestigious institution that is the CNSS. With this in mind, measures such as the extension of the space and the installation of refreshment facilities were carried out beforehand to welcome prisoners in a pleasant and sustainable setting. The pensioners present on this day all affirmed their complete satisfaction and thanks to the manager of the CNSS North Branch, Mr. Ali Muhammad Ali Gadile. This time presented in here is the work of the CNSS Managing Director, Madam Deqa, who has succeeded in bringing to fruition a priority project that was one of the major concerns of the enlightened policy of the head of state, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Agelle. A sworn delegation is currently in Djibouti to supervise and evaluate the local peace communities set up by Djibouti's National Conflict Early Warning and Response Unit. On arrival, they were welcomed by the new prefect of Tajarrah, Mr. Abbas, as well as members of the Tajarrah CLP and the representative of the TOHA Association responsible for setting up peace communities in the regions. The delegation responsible for monitoring and evaluating RRF Rapid Reaction Fund projects is led by Mr. Tibibu Kifile, head of the RRF programs, together from the Australian Development Agency, and Mrs. Khadija Muhammad in charge of the visibility of the Rapid Reaction Fund program. At the end of the meetings, gifts were exchanged, followed by a group photo to immortalize the occasion. As part of the fight against smuggling, members of the Customs Brigade, in close collaboration with the Ali Sibih Regional Police Detachment, intercepted a large consignment of smuggled qat at the Galili border. The goods seized were 8,500 kilograms of contraband qat in accordance with standard procedure. This quantity was destroyed on the spot by the Customs Brigade in the presence of the head of the Ali Sibih Customs Brigade, Mr. Muhammad Mumin Hassan. To this end, the National Police, in collaboration with Customs, deployed vast human and material resources to thwart these smuggling activities. Smuggling is a scourge that undermines our nation's economic development, so it's up to every citizen to join the fight to put an end to this illicit trade. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, Europe is facing its first heat wave of the summer, with temperatures well in excess of 35 degrees, 38 Celsius this weekend in Lyon, central France. An ordinary heat wave according to Metro France, but one which shows just how vigilant people need to be in the event of prolonged heavy waves, especially those most at risk. Germany too had its first weekend of 38 Celsius across the country. Lakes and rivers are bursting at the seams, but doctors are warning against thermal shock. A body exposed successfully to high heat and cold water can accelerate the heartbeat to the point of syncope. Well, by this, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you once again.